Hey, Las Vegas. Thanks for joining us back here at Vegas Realty Check, your local Las Vegas real estate news show. This is our special end of 2022 episode. We do this every year. These are our memorials, so we are going to be saying goodbye to things from the past. But before we do any of that, I'm Trish Williams, and
I'm Tiana Carroll, your co-host.
And I'm Mia Wolf.
Yes.
She is our guest again.
Yes. Can I say you saved the best for last?
Yes.
Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah,
Okay.
you're
You
good.
saved the best for last.
And we, Mia's a return guest. We love having you on the show, so we're going to be having some fun with today's show.
Yes, I'm excited.
Let the giggling begin.
Yes, there's one show listener out there that is not going to like this show.
not a
You
fan.
should tune out right now because there's
No,
going to
don't
be
tune out.
lots
Like, share,
of likes,
subscribe.
lots of giggling. But everybody else, download, like, subscribe, and share. Tell your friends about us, and let's get started.
All right, well,
go.
before we get started and start saying goodbye to some of the things that happened this year in real estate, we do want to kind of just recap a bit on some of the things that did happen, because 22 was a sort of roller coaster ride. So last year when we were sitting here saying goodbye to things, we had crazy low stock. We had 2,267 homes on the market. And what do we have today, Trish?
Well, let's compare that 2,200 and something last
67.
year, where people were trying to find homes, till today we have 6,128 single-family homes on the market.
Yeah, so that's good. And I remember people were like, I hope we get to 3,000. I hope we get to... And I'm like, okay, well, we did that.
We got there.
We did that. We balanced out our market. Now we are in a much more balanced market than that feeding frenzy. And then we didn't have very many price reductions because at that time, homes were flying off the shelves.
Well, it looks like we still are not having a lot of price reductions. I
Nope.
think it's because of December. I mean, we've seen in the last few months, we've had close to 2,000 price reductions in some months or some weeks when
Right.
we've reported. And that was during the shift. People had to get on board. They had to change their prices. And now they're saying like, hey, this is my price.
Yeah.
Which I see, I have, of course, I'm sure you guys, we all do. We have buyers asking us, is it going to go lower? Are prices going to drop lower? And of course, crystal balls, we don't have it, but I don't think so. I really don't think so. I think the price reductions being right now this week, we're at 308. I think that's an indicator that sellers are saying like, either I'm selling at this price or I'm not selling. Like we're done reducing. So I don't think it's going to drop much more.
Yeah, I kind of have to agree with that, right? Because the way and for Vegas, right? It's different for other parts of the country. They're still on a decline in some areas, and
we got it first. We hit it first.
Good job, Vegas. We got it together back in September, October. We're like, oh, this is happening. Slashed our prices. We came down to a more realistic market value for what was happening, and we've been sitting right there. So I like that.
For sure. I feel like these past, Christmas week got really busy.
Yeah.
Did you see the same
I got
thing?
busy too. Yeah.
I ended up with a couple closings, this last week of December when November felt really, really slow. So that's what I love about real estate is it's so unpredictable.
Yep. I got those Christmas escrows
Yes,
popping off. I was like, woo! Yay, thank you, Santa.
Merry Christmas to us.
Seriously.
Yeah. So yes, no, absolutely. We did have some uptick already. And again, when people are looking at the news, they're looking at the nationwide news. And I talk to this about people all the time. I was talking to a buyer about it the other day. I'm like, yeah, the news headlines right now, this week, the news is saying like, oh, next year, sales are going to drop 30%. So, and again, that they're saying sales, not prices. I don't think prices dropping another 30% is even in the cards.
No, we haven't even come down 30%.
Yeah, but the news is saying sales are going to drop another 30%. Maybe, but from what? 30% from last year? Yeah, we're already there.
Yeah.
But it's nationwide news in a lot of cases, and it's not what we're experiencing here or what other cities are experiencing like right now already happened here a few months ago, because when we started slowing down, I remember talking to people in Texas and some other cities, and they were like, no, we're not slow here. Like we're, maybe things slowed down a little bit, but they're not. And so it happened to us first. Right. We already went through the cycle.
And I think we're a market that a lot of markets watch because they, what's happening in Vegas. I mean, it's always, we're always at the stuff. Yeah. What happens in Vegas does not stay in Vegas, right? Yes. But we are, we're a market for the nation that is always watching what's going on in Vegas, especially when you're talking about crashing, But I mean, I'm not seeing it. It's a great time to negotiate. Our buyers are getting back out there, are getting closing costs. So I'm telling you, I'm a little sad to see 2022 go, honestly.
Well, 2022 has been like 2022 years all in one.
It's never ending. Never ending.
Every month is its own year.
We still have 2 days left. Who knows what could happen?
Yes, we're still here. It hasn't ended yet. Like, this has been the longest year ever in real estate.
Been sitting there here in these pink chairs all of 2022.
And we have
21.
and 21. And we've hit every cycle. We've been like super extreme. We hit our version of a crash. Like we hit every cycle in real estate all in 1 year.
Yeah.
It's been crazy.
What a great year for new agents to come onto the scene, right? Because then they've experienced so much. They've gotten quite the life lessons.
Oh, they haven't got to do short sales yet. They're not seasoned.
There's always things that we can learn in real estate, no matter how long we've been in it. But this has been a good learning year for a lot of people because so many things have happened. And some of the things that we saw happen, we might not see again.
Yeah.
So we get to put those to rest and lay those down.
Yep.
So our sales numbers for this last week, 372 closed.
Which was up from the week prior.
Okay.
Because weren't we at like 200 and like, I don't know, mid 200s?
The week prior, I was...
Oh, yeah, you weren't here. She doesn't know.
So I'm saying goodbye to COVID because I've been there, done that now.
You get your COVID badge of honor.
I got my badge of honor. That's going to be gone at least for how long does that stay good? 6 months? I don't know.
Yeah, you're good for the next 3 weeks. It won't come back.
I am. I feel like going on like a couple cruises just to be like, hey, I'm invincible.
Now's the time. Your immune's kicking.
For sure.
Yeah. Anyways, but yes. So I'm not sure where we were at the week prior, but before that we were at about 500 the week before last week.
Okay. So then I'm way off.
So last week was
a big week. So it's been a big week for Vegas.
500 is still very, very low in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, because it's only going to put us like about 2,000 closings December.
372, so that's about 1,600, 1,800 closings, which is what we've been averaging for the past couple months, which is not good. That was our inventory last year.
Yeah,
that was our inventory, and now that's our closing.
Like
yeah, so not good. We're a good, healthy market where we have like just things are wonderful is when we're around 3,500 to 4,000 closings a month. That's
so. I don't think we're going to see that for a minute. It's going to be in our uptick in spring that we might get back there.
Yeah.
But what do you think?
I don't want to say goodbye to that. Let's hope that it comes back. Come back. Come back.
We miss you.
Yes. I'm not sure on that one. I don't know. Maybe I'm a little optimistic, but I still have a lot of optimism for 2023.
Yeah. No, I'm sure that 2023 is going to be a good year. It's 22 was a good year, so 21 was a good year, 20 was a good year, 19. They're all good years. They're just different. They take on their own life force. I don't know how much business everybody's seeing in the pending crash. Everybody's talking about how the market's going to drop or whatever.
Yeah,
but I don't know that I'm going to see the market crash in the way they think it's going to crash. I think it's just going to be a slow roll, kind of like lava moving down the mountain, slowly taking
it feels slow.
Its time.
It feels a lot slower, but when we're so used to it being so fast, who knows?
My favorite year in real estate was 2019. 2019 was a great year. It was everything. It was before COVID ruined our lives. It was just a really...
I got licensed.
Yeah. It was a really good, really healthy, very strong year. It's funny when I talk to people right now about pricing, and I think that, my personal opinion is that our adjustments going to bring us to 2019 pricing. We're not far from there right now, but I think that that's where we're going to adjust to. And people are like, "Oh no!" And I'm like, "It was a great year. Like, let's just embrace it. It was it was good. I feel like that's where we need to be. When you look at homes that sold in 2019, they sold at good prices, and good prices for both sides.
Right.
You know,
Yeah,
not just the seller. It's a win-win for everybody. It was a good, healthy market. Our month-over-month closings were nice and healthy. That was a great year. Let's bring it back.
Let's bring back 19, huh?
Yeah.
Put 22
Let's
to
do
rest
it.
and just
I'll
go
go
back to
back 2
19.
years.
It's what we want to do. It's fine.
Yeah.
Back 2 years.
Yeah, we can adjust everything back. Let's start over. So first thing I want to say goodbye to
Okay.
is, you know, during this last couple years, we've had times where you send an offer, you spend time with the buyer, and you send an offer, and sometimes you even write this like nice letter to go along with it.
We had to say goodbye to those last year.
Yeah, we had to say goodbye to those letters, but I don't know, they didn't really get outlawed in Vegas. We thought that it was coming, but they didn't outlaw them here. It was like in Baltimore or something, right?
Right, and NAR did send out a letter saying, you know,
They advise against it.
we advise against this, don't do this anymore. And as soon as NAR said something, then LVR was like, okay, we're not doing this anymore, let's not do it. And then all the brokerages went, okay, we're done, no more love letters to sellers.
Right. So you spend all this time and you send this offer, and then you write the agent this like great letter, you know, about your buyer or, you know, whatever, all these things, and you never hear anything back.
Crickets.
No return phone call, no, hey, what happened to our offer? You just, then your notification that they received the offer or that they didn't receive the offer or whatever was that contract with that property went under contract on the MLS, and then you're like, oh, buyer, hey, this isn't available anymore. So we get to say goodbye to those people.
Yeah, and yeah, that will be nice because it does leave our buyers in limbo, not knowing what's going on. And now we're seeing those already going away desperately because we're getting offer received. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll present this weekend. Thank you.
There's a big difference in getting one offer on a house than, you know, 17 in a day.
Now, on the flip side of that, with the sellers getting all of those offers, one of the things I'd like to say goodbye to is having to do 65 net sheets.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Up all night with a highlighter and a ream of paper just going
dear
through.
Mr. Seller, on offer number 47, this is what you're going to net. And offer number 48, this is what you're going to net.
And say goodbye to the description, and the MLS just says, an agent remarks, highest and best. Highest and best. Highest and best. That's all we saw.
Every single
highest
house.
and best.
Every single house.
It doesn't matter what it is.
remarks
Highest and best. No showings.
It just got listed 5 seconds ago.
Coming
Highest
soon.
and best.
Coming soon. I was looking at memories coming up, and it was like, coming soon, under contract, on the same post. You know, it was like it was coming soon and it was under contract because the agents, buyers' agents it was a struggle.
It was a crazy frenzy. They
find.
literally didn't have to put in anything in the MLS except for have house for sale, sold. I'll take it. That'll be mine.
Yep. With that, let's say goodbye to those 10-second marketing plans.
Yes.
Because agents, I'm sorry, love you guys, but there was no strategy in marketing.
You didn't need it.
It was like, hey, I am going to take this listing back to my office. I'm going to put it in the MLS and press enter. Sold.
True. As soon as you hit enter, all of a sudden your emails are going ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
Offer received, offer received, offer received. Okay, here we go.
Now again, that didn't make the value of some people are like for sale by owners and things were like, I don't need an agent. I could sell my house. Yes, absolutely. I agree with that. You didn't need an agent to sell your house. You didn't.
You did not.
I called it for sale.
Well, you didn't need an agent to get your house sold.
Yes.
But you did need an agent to sort of protect you through the process.
Protect you through the process. We were in a whole different game. Like we had to, going over those net sheets, knowing the difference between the offers, navigating through the entire transaction with all the chaos and everything that was involved in it, and protecting your butt. Like that was, buyers were willing to sign off on anything. And there was times where I was like, hey, we need to protect this with some other terms or clauses or something, because that is that's a litigation waiting to happen. Like we don't, So yes, that didn't, just because the offers came in immediately didn't mean that we weren't necessary. And I feel like we provided a ton of value to the sellers that we represented.
For sure. I'm thinking about all the, you get all these offers. Well, an offer is nothing but a piece of paper until you verify that, this proof of funds is really there. We were hearing stories of people, accepting offers that they weren't verified. And then, of course, you had these backup offers.
Well, every horror story happened in 22.
I had a listing. Oh my God, this listing was a nightmare in this market.
No offense to you, Mr. Seller.
We aren't saying names. In this market, there's no way that listing would have ever sold. But this was like at the beginning of the year. Oh my gosh, it was a nightmare from day one to finish, everything. But the buyer that we got, we had a pre-approval letter. We had all of the information. I always reach out to the lender on the first day.
Same. Mm-hmm.
Everything. Where we did the home inspection, we did everything. We were 12 days in. I'm like, where's the appraiser? The lender forgot about the file. Forgot about it. The appraiser never got ordered. The opening loan disclosures, nothing ever got ordered. Nothing ever got started since that day one. The introduction call from the lender. They set it in a pile and forgot about it. And so, unfortunately, it put the buyer in a spot where they were in default of all their contingency dates, and they couldn't qualify. Luckily, not my buyer. I think it was awful, horrible representation. We ended up having to sell the house to somebody else. It was horrible.
Getting their offer accepted was a huge win for them.
In that market, it was a great win.
Getting their offer accepted, and I remember the text message from the buyer's agent said, "I promise to be the very best buyer's agent you've ever worked with." You're the worst.
The lender kind of dropped the ball too there.
Well, but the agent was on a vacation. So the day after we went to escrow, the agent literally went on vacation. So it was
she's like, "I got an escrow, I'm out later."
Yeah, so I'm all I know is I heard from the home inspector, when they had the home inspection, but nothing following the home inspection, no request for repairs. I'm like, what happened? I'm trying to get a hold of the agent. I'm getting a vacation responder. I'm like, what's going on? And then, it was just a nightmare, start to finish.
Those poor buyers.
Poor buyers. I do. I feel very bad for them. But it was maybe the chaos. No one thought they needed to work. I don't know.
Right. Communication for sure. And I think that a lot of times, when we're representing sellers and buyers too, they don't see all the details like this, where, hey, appraisal contingencies, I know they understand, but the days, if they're in default of that, it's done.
That
deposit.
That we could keep the earnest money, but your agent has got to be on top of it, because what if you wouldn't have caught it,
Yeah.
I mean, transaction coordinator, title, appraiser, lender, somebody else, should have caught it as well.
Somebody else should have caught it. It was not my job to look over the buyer's contingencies. Right. That was the buyers and their representation. Agent's job. That was not my position to be in.
Right.
So it was horrible. Nightmare situation, but again, home sold again 5 seconds later.
Right.
So
it doesn't matter for the seller at that
thank
market.
Goodness it was that market. Yeah, and I think a lot of times too, sometimes we do end up doing, as a listing agent, sometimes we end up doing some of the responsibilities of the buyer's agent too, just calling and checking up on things and making, we have to.
It's part of being a good agent, and I see so many times where people are represented by a listing agent, a buyer's agent, where their agents care less about their contingencies. And I'm like, I can't gamble with people's money like that. It's not.
I can't either.
Because if your agent's dropping the ball on your contingency and you don't understand how important that is, and you're not, on top of it, and the buyer, I don't think the client should be on top of it. I feel like that's our job.
For sure.
And I take that as seriously.
Yeah,
I have 3-day alerts before every contingency. I get notified. I even have my buyers CC'd on that, so buyers or sellers, so that they know that contingency is coming, so that everyone knows this date's about to be here, and it's an important date. So that's part of the value that we offer.
Yeah. Yep,
So.
and those contingencies are there for the protection. Our contracts are very buyer-friendly, protecting the buyer and their earnest money, which is, those contingencies are another thing that we'll be saying, or the lack of contingencies,
Right.
I guess, is something we'll be
Waiving 'em.
saying goodbye to.
Waiving appraisal.
Waiving
Goodbye to the waiving of appraisal. And the waiving of inspections.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh, that waiving of inspections. I'm like, I don't care what market we're in, and there was so many times where I told people, I don't care what the market is. Have the inspection. Just you don't have to ask for repairs. You need that inspection.
Yeah, you need to know a snapshot of the condition of the property at the time you're purchasing for your own edification. And in those, if you get a good home inspector, which we have some great ones, they will go ahead and do, you know, sort of like a code red. These are really, really important. They have to be done immediately. But there's also these maintenance things and little notes throughout, and that helps you maintain the value of your home through ownership. I fully believe in an inspection. I make all my buyers get one.
So I also think that we should say goodbye to the sellers that have the stinky house and the messed up roof. And
the
selling
hoarder.
over appraisal in 5 minutes, because that's not really happening anymore.
Yeah, no, those suckers got lucky. I mean, really, that market anything was going for astronomical prices, and the fact that some of those homes got, was it you that I sent the video that had the outside, they left the outside faucet running and it had calcified over and broke off and it was dripping down the stucco, and I was like, you need to turn that off, and they're like, no, that's the dog's water. And it was mold all over the back of the house and algae and everything growing, and I'm like, so that's going to be a problem. And then in that market, sold. I was like, oh,
yeah,
okay,
no,
so not a problem.
Don't worry, not a problem. We have 25 offers.
Right.
Sold.
Yes, yes.
Yes, so I think that those guys we're gonna have to say goodbye to. And it was fun. I remember being in a house with and this is something that we're gonna see less of, because again, when the market is the way that it was, the sellers didn't have to try.
Yeah,
they didn't even leave.
effortless.
Yeah, they didn't even leave.
They didn't even put shirts on.
No, I had a showing
one.
where an agent came out like, they were skinny dipping in the pool, one last dip in the pool.
Oh, yeah, you told us this story last time.
There's water dripping out, and they're like, 50 grand over listing price. You're in this little tiny house. They don't even care.
Yeah, no, that we had. I had one time where a seller answered the door without pants.
Yep.
Yeah, so that was nice. And
I had a seller.
Presentation. You're right. It's the 10-second presentation.
It didn't matter though. It's like, you could call and be like, hey, your seller did this. And they're like, yeah, we have 20 offers. Screw you.
Yeah,
Who
you're
cares?
like, I don't have time for this call. Bye. I got to go do net sheets.
Yeah, like it didn't matter. And I was in a house with a buyer, and the seller was there, of course, because he didn't even plan on leaving. Didn't clean up. Nothing. The house smelled. There was an odor. It wasn't even whatever. Usually you walk in the door and buyer's like, I ain't doing this. And you're like, thank you, Mr. Seller. I'm out of here. Bye. And it's like, no. The buyer's like, well, let's see what it has to offer.
Well, we're here,
Yeah.
and it's a house.
Since we're here,
and I'm looking for one of those.
This might be good. Yeah.
And something else we can say goodbye to is the masks. And remember the families that we were in COVID, I guess, and this could have been 2019, early 2020. And, the family is not leaving. They all have masks on. We're shuffling, putting masks on, and booties, and gloves.
And hand sanitizer.
And hand sanitizer.
That was very 20. By 21, we were done with it. And
it was
22, we didn't really see much. I mean, I still go into people's homes and people will wear masks, and that is their absolute prerogative. And I will always ask, do you want me to put a mask on?
But that was a wild
time.
It felt
was an eerie time.
It was. Yes.
Yeah.
It felt apocalyptic.
It did. It did. It felt very weird during that time.
Kudos to the agents, though, that still did their videos and their presentations and staging and, when they, not that they didn't have to, but they did it because you had to stand out, in that sea of craziness. Mm-hmm. You had to stand out. You still had to go over and above, which we're still doing.
Yep. I remember when, I'd say maybe 21, this started, when the sellers were like, waive appraisals. Your buyers has to waive. I'm like, waive? Like, no, we offer this much over the appraisal. We have a limit, right? No,
Right.
it needs to be waived completely. And I'm like, buyers ain't going to do that. No one's going to do that.
Famous last words.
Famous last words, because that became a thing.
Oh, man.
And it was how business was done for months.
It was mandatory. There wasn't, if you wrote an offer and you were not waiving the appraisal contingency completely, good luck.
I think there was a solid 4 months where every contract that I did had no appraisal. We're paying over. We want it. We need house, which is crazy. And I think back now, I'm like, why would they do that? And they were so desperate to get into a house.
Even releasing the earnest money with no
Hard,
hard
Just
hard
gamble.
earnest money released just to get it
$5,000.
accepted. They're
Here.
like, why not? Yeah,
Well,
let's
because
take
it's a
it.
bribe. Take my offer.
Take my offer.
Here's my money. Take my offer.
So I am glad to say goodbye to that.
Yes,
I'm
yes, yes.
Peace
sad.
out.
I'm sad. I'm sad to say goodbye to low interest rates.
Yes, we are. That was the next one. You're
She's
psychic.
on there.
You're psychic.
I knew it was coming. I didn't even see your cards.
So we are those
Your,
three and
your
a
cards
half-
are so detailed.
Some have gone back up.
rates.
She's got a whole card and it's got one word on it: rates. We don't
awesome.
even know
We
if
all
they're
know
high
what
or
that
low.
means.
It's just rates.
We know what we're talking about here.
We know what we're talking about.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
those 3.5% rates, gosh, I hope they come back one day, but for now, they're gone.
Yep, they are gone.
They are not coming back in 2023. We
So-
know that.
No.
Yeah, when we were in last year's show, we were sitting here talking about these interest rates, and they're like, 5-6% is normal, blah, blah, blah. And now we're acting like, 6%'s a nightmare.
We're hoping we're going to see mid 4s and low 5s in 2023. I've heard lots of optimism about that. I'm optimistic. I think it's going to happen after the first quarter, somewhere in between there. So let's hope that is. But those 3s, sorry, guys.
So that's
Yeah.
all going to depend upon how quickly we move down our inflation closer to that 2 that the Fed is hoping for, that 2% mark, and if those rates come down. I don't see it. I'm not that optimistic. I'm trying to get all of my people to wrap their head around. It's like 6 is the new 3. Like, get used to it. 7's the new 3. We're going to do it. And it's fine because 24 is coming and rates are scheduled to really drop then because we got an election.
Yes, yes. Can we vote out the Fed? I'm all for that.
You
Sorry,
just don't
guys.
like Jerome Powell at all, do you?
No. I have a target in my office that
All right.
I throw stuff at. Builders.
So we're
So they wanted us to, and there's times that we had to do what we had to do.
We did.
Bring your buyers. We got homes, or we might have homes. I think we got one because those are all sold out for the next year or two.
we'll put you in the lottery. You'll love it.
Yeah, go the lotteries. We could say
lotteries.
goodbye to the lotteries on dirt, where that is where you go into a builder's office. You're like, wow, I love this model home you have built right here. How would I get that? And they're like, hey, show up on Saturday. We'll throw your name in the hat. And if you're the lucky winner, then you get to pay over price for this. But we're not even going to lock in a price right now. You just give us like $10,000 and we'll let you know what the price is in 3 or 4 months when it's ready.
Yeah.
And you were like,
We're
hey.
not going to pay any commission to your agent.
And your
Yeah,
agent
you're
gets
responsible.
nothing. You got to pay your own agent. And then they're like, hey, agents, we have these houses. Bring your buyers down, but we're not paying you. So,
Yeah. I'm glad to say goodbye to that.
wow. And now they're like, hey, agents, guess
Now
what?
they're courting
We're going
us.
to pay you. We're going to
An
pay you
extra
more.
percent.
Yeah, we'll give you some more money.
We're gonna
we'll
pay for
all
your-
your buyers' closing costs. We'll give them an extra fridge and stainless steel appliances and upgrade their flooring.
Get
Just
that
bring them
backyard
down.
package.
Yeah.
Doing
So
bonuses. Yep.
screw you, builders.
Hey, we'll just say L on that. I think
We're just
we all
going to say
really know what
goodbye
that
to
means.
the unfair play.
The unfair play.
Well, I
Right.
think, what was the longest? Because I think I had a couple looking for a house. Probably, it was new construction. They waited 9 months, and I think we looked probably 6 months. We're in lotteries waiting. I'm thinking like definitely over a year for one couple to get in and in their house.
Are you
and
talking resale or new
Builder.
construction?
Either.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it wasn't instant. It took months to get buyers into contract because of
It took months
offers.
to get them, even in resale. I mean, it was.
Yeah,
You're
the longest
writing-
one I did was 8 months to get into a contract.
Do you remember
Same buyer.
the clients we were working with that we had to have written 100 offers for them?
Oh, yeah.
And it was so sad. It was depressing. Like, I love real estate because to me it's upbeat, like the energy of it, but like it really was. It got kind of depressing when we'd had to be like, they didn't accept the offer again.
Well,
you
and
know,
tell
and
them
you're
again.
trying to tell them like you know, we don't have this much over. Or trying to call the agent, you know, hey, you know, or is there any chance we're going to get it? And then breaking the news, you know,
To the buyers.
Well,
over
then
and
let's
over.
put that to rest
Let's do
because
that again.
buyer defeat is something
It
that I
is.
hope we never see again because it
Me
was
too.
hard writing
It was
offer
hard.
after offer after offer and having to say they didn't respond. They went with somebody else. They are under contract, so I assume they took somebody else's offer because it's not ours.
Yeah.
And they'd want to like back out of the market, and some of them did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Buyer defeat is real,
of them
so
gave
let's
up.
say
It
goodbye
was-
to that and put that to rest.
It was very discouraging, very discouraging. So that was sad, and we are glad to say goodbye to that.
Yes, we will be.
Conforming loan limits. So conventional loan, our conforming loan limits were $647,200, and they've raised them to $726,200. I don't even know, but I'm sorry. This is great. Sure, great news. You don't have to get a jumbo loan and everything, but prices have come down. So like this is kind of not important. Like this is something they're like, oh, here, have this. We raised your rates, but now conforming loan
But now you
limits
can
It was.
are
It felt a little late.
raised.
It
was late.
It was a
It was
little
late.
lagging. It
Yeah.
should have happened earlier when the prices were going up. But appraisals were coming in, like you know, appraisals were coming in high.
Yeah.
Mine are still coming in. I
They're
feel like
coming in. The
they're
appraisals are still coming in strong. I'm seeing,
same.
I'm not having appraisal issues like we were having before. So that's great.
Yeah,
That is
and
great.
I'm still seeing, I mean, multiple offers on certain, you know, housing prices, like under 450, 400.
Yeah.
I'm still
If
seeing
they're priced right and they
I'm
show
still
well.
seeing, now we are getting some low offers coming in too, where it's like, you know,
Oh, let's talk about these iBuyers.
Right.
So
They always come back
what
to
does I
these
stand
guys.
for?
Yeah.
Internet buyer, right?
yeah, internet buyers, iBuyers. So like, you know, Zillow, Open Door, OfferPad, all these people who are all like struggling right
Who
now.
all had a bad year.
They've had a very bad year.
They had bad year this year.
But they were coming in at like 100% of the home value with their offers. And that was a struggle for us. I know there were so many times where I was at a listing appointment and I'm like, come on now. They're like, oh, OfferPad told me they'd offer this price too. And I'm like, come on, they're going to knock you down at the home inspection. But it's trying to get the buyers to, or the sellers to understand that because their offers came in so strong. Well, guys, they're back to offering 70% of market value. So you are not even going to take those offers into consideration unless you really, really need it. So we're saying goodbye to those 100% iBuyer offers.
Yep.
Coming in.
I've even
We
seen
are
some
saying
of their.
goodbye to
I've
those.
seen some of their lock boxes like just abandoned. I'm serious, like a random lock box, and you look at it, and it's like it's one of the iBuyers agents, and it's just left there. On the water meter.
They're like, screw it.
We're done here.
We're done here.
I'm not going to waste the gas.
Hang on.
Well, I closed on an iBuyer the other day on an Open Door property, and they told me to keep the lockbox.
Really?
Yeah, they were like,
Your agent bonus. Here's a lockbox.
That's $100 right there.
it wasn't an electronic one; it was the old school one. But they were like, "Hey, they were like, yeah, just here's how to remove the lockbox and keep it." I was like, "Sure." I always use more lockboxes. I'm not going anywhere. Apparently, they are. So,
Yeah.
Right?
no home to choose from. And then, lastly, this show went by pretty quickly, but.
Indeed.
Lastly, we are saying goodbye to a couple pieces of, or to a piece of Vegas that went away this year, the Heartland Mansion.
Yeah. We
So,
covered that on one of the podcasts.
they demolished it to
yeah.
put an adult superstore earlier in the year. So,
Yeah, neighbors love that idea. They were thrilled. But yeah,
Market
little
value
piece
just went up or down. I don't know which one.
depends upon the buyer.
That is true.
Vegas. And I don't know the exact number of how many Airbnbs are operating without a license right now, but I've been hearing it somewhere between like 7,000 and 8,000.
Okay, I've heard about 8 to 10.
8 to 10. Okay, yeah. So I tried to Google and find the exact number, but
they're operating illegal, so the information's probably not ready available. So
it's hard to find out exactly. But they are going to be issuing 3,000 licenses. So we're going to have to say goodbye to a lot of those illegally operating Airbnbs over this next year, because once those licenses are issued, they're going to start cracking down on it. And I'm sure some people are going to continue, because people love to continue to break the law no matter what it says. But I think that some of those are going to just decide that they the risk factor is too high and close them down. So we're going to see a lot of those go away.
So goodbye, little Airbnbs.
But there'll be some super cute houses on the market, because most of them are in some really, like, most of them go in and they make them absolutely beautiful. So whenever I've seen an Airbnb on resale, it's usually a beautiful home. So we'll have some awesome homes come up on the market when people are getting rid of those.
That'll be nice, because that's what I'm hoping for 23. Some homes on the market, some buyers coming out of the woodwork to start shopping again and keep our Vegas economy market going.
Properties for next year. What are your hopes for next year?
I hope that we hit at least 3,000 in monthly sales again. Prices, I'm not greedy or anything with this. I think the prices where we're at right now, if we stay this way for a while, I don't think there's a problem with it. I'm sorry, sellers. I know all you guys want to hear like prices are up and they're going to go higher. It's not going to happen in 2023.
Yeah, not in 2023.
But I don't think it's going to drop. I am on the, and it could be overly optimistic, I don't know, but I do not think that prices are going to go any lower than where we're at right now. Seller concessions, right now, seller concessions are like absurd how much we're getting. Like, I mean, you can get sellers to pay everything. Your closing costs, your rate buy downs, they'll throw in the everything.
If I could figure out how I could get them to legally pay for my buyer's down payment, I would.
Yes, well, VA buyers, you don't have to worry about that.
That's VAs.
VAs can move in 0 down right now. So I do think that that's going to kind of go away, once we adjust to the market that we're in. I think that we'll be able to get maybe half a closing cost paid, but I think that that's not getting it all like we're getting right now isn't going to last that long.
I don't think it's going to last that long either.
Take advantage of it now.
While it's here.
It is. We always say now's a good time to buy. Like, it really is right now. If you need help with closing costs, like, it is the time to buy.
Negotiating
don't know how
the
long
lower
that's
prices.
gonna last. You can always refinance, but the buyer's advantage isn't always there.
Yeah, and we're seeing that. We're seeing that with the price reductions. Those come down by thousands, literally. Like, we were almost at 2,000. We're now at 300 for the week. And it's those price reductions coming down is an indicator that sellers are saying, like, nope, I've done everything I'm going to do. Not lowering it anymore. Not budging anymore. So those are things that we're going to, I think, just see change.
More realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah, back to the old ways of doing things. Houses are going to sit a little longer. The prices really aren't going to change too much. And now's a great time. I agree with both of you on concessions and getting sellers to help you out. But I agree that it's not going to last forever, because we know what happens in spring. And once things start moving again, that's it.
Yep. I had a seller ask me the other day, and I know we need to wrap up, so sorry for just rambling. I had a seller ask me the other day for a 30-day listing agreement. And you know what? If it was last year, I'd be like, all right,
no problem.
We're back,
be close
back
to 30 days.
Nothing to lose. Why not? Yeah, but I was like, no, absolutely not. He's like, well, you won't get the listing if you don't do it. And I was like, oh, good, because I'm not. You think I'm going to put out that money to market your home for 30 days? It's not. Can
we put to rest where sellers think they're doing us a favor to list their house with us?
Yeah, I feel like that's never going to go to rest, though. Like, there is this like taboo out there for real estate agents that is so wrong. Like, we are not what a lot of the public makes us out to be. And the amount of work, like, oh my gosh, if you knew like the behind the scenes of what your realtors go through for you. Negotiating and not even that, it's just like, you know, the realtors that care, that put like their effort, their time, their care into it, and the loss of sleep, the
passionate about their clients. I mean, you know, it's hard to, it is, I mean, you know, boundaries, of course, but, you know, it's very hard not to get connected to your clients, especially when they're referrals. And, you know, I mean, I know both of you, you know, we make fast friends and family with, you know, who we work with.
Clients,
it's just who we are.
My clients are always around in my life.
Yeah, and they stick around, and it is, I mean, we go over and above, and we lose sleep. We you know, I mean, stress out, you know, things. I had one that just closed, and, you know, she had listed in the high time and didn't accept the higher offer, and, you know, it was the real estate agent's fault, you know, and she probably lost about $60,000 during the time, and, you know, and relisting, and the market just wasn't there. So, you know, there's a lot of communication that goes on.
Yeah, no, it's tough, and there's times that I've had like absolute meltdowns, or had like, you know, just issues with the other agent that's like, whoa, why is this even happening? And you go through all this, but then again, you have to go through it all, and then you have to take it and pull it all together, and then not get your client caught up in the
emotion.
You have to keep your head on straight. You have to be the level-headed one through this, because once you get them, this is the biggest thing in their life. Once you get them all bent out of shape about it, then everything goes crazy.
It falls apart.
So
yeah, no, you definitely have to keep it together so it doesn't fall apart.
Wrap it up in a bow.
Yeah, wrap it up in a bow. There is so much, like, we should be certified counselors. I'm just saying.
I am one, but and it really helps. It really helps in this job.
Yes, it is so like, wow, there is so many times where I've just like had conversations with, no, it's okay, just calm down, go have a glass of wine.
Like, go have a glass of wine.
I think this year, you know, like this coming year, it does feel like it's going to be a little more peaceful, a little bit more restful on all sides. I
think things are just going to move slower. I don't think there's going to be a ton of business per se. I don't think our sales are going to drop down to 100 sales per month. I don't think they're going to be like 6,000 sales a month.
Yeah, I think that we'll have a nice, good adjustment.
Right. Yeah. I think it'll be calm, cool, and collective, and those who need to sell and buy will sell and buy, and all of the fakies and looky-loos will be out of the market for a while, which will give realtors breathing room for a minute, and then we'll see what happens in 24.
Yeah. I've been updating my marketing, so that's great. I actually have time to do that.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Well, I loved 2022. Yeah. I'm a little sad to see it go, but new beginnings are always, you know, change is constant, and real estate change is constant.
Yep.
Moment by moment. So.
Well, Mia, if anybody wanted to get a hold of you in 2023, so that way you could help them with real estate, how would they do that?
You could reach me by Instagram, Facebook, DM me. My phone number's on the screen. Call me.
And for the
I'm
podcast,
reachable.
give them your number.
702-412-7255.
Perfect. I too am going to see 2022 go away and be sad about it, because even though it was wild and crazy, so many great things happened, so many lessons, and just a lot of great moments when we were able to help people. So I will be sad to see it go, but I'm very optimistic going into the new year and excited for the new adventure. And if you'd like to take a real estate adventure with me, you can reach me at 702-379-9948. Or if you'd like to talk to Trish, she's available.
Yes, I'll be available all through 2023. And if you want to get that last minute 2022 house, we still have 2 days left. Call me. We'll make it happen. As long as there's no HOA.
I was going to say, she's not making it happen. That's BS.
We'll get you in contract.
But we'll get
Just
we'll get
happen
you
to
by
have one
January.
listed that you might like.
24 hours closed.
Exactly.
It's
Anyways,
possible.
I will be here for anything, even to answer questions, give advice, anything that you have. You can reach me at 702-308-2878. Thank you guys for tuning in. And
Yeah, thanks
we'll
for
see
joining
you next year.
thanks for joining us on Vegas Realty
Happy
Check.
New
And if you
Year.
found value in any of this, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and come back and see what 2023 has for us. Until then, you guys, have a great new year. Be safe.
Thank you.